Johnny Five is alive. What's going on, guys? Happy April Fool's Day. Thank you for stopping by Tully Television on this Day of Fools. And I recently want to talk real quick. I recently put up Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 1 review recently. I had to have YouTube trim out some parts because my guy Timmy and I were trying to redo that video a couple times because Disney kept putting the block on it, and it was becoming a pain in the ass. And he spent a lot of time on it as it was, and I didn't want to have him get frustrated with having to redo it, so I just had YouTube trim out the parts that Disney wanted me to. Actually, Disney was being the buzzards about it and having YouTube cut out the parts. It's interesting because when I was doing the WandaVision series, and I think Tim was able to help me with most of those episodes, if not all of them. That was around the time when we started collaborating more and stuff, and his work for those episodes were always his work for this episode was stellar too, and is stellar. But I don't know why Disney is wanting to put the block on this so much, and didn't really put the block so much on the WandaVision stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just want to again thank Tim for helping me out with the editing. If you do have any video projects that you're looking to do, hit me up on Tully2099 at gmail.com, or you can visit Timmy himself on Facebook at Timothy Gallagher Ode Smoky Bishop on Facebook. He really does great work. I hope that one day he can get discovered so he can have the ability to leave his job because his talents are getting wasted. For the You know how it goes. You know how it goes with people who have to work certain jobs because they have to pay the bills. When if they were given the opportunity to do one job, they'd be able to, with the proper supervision, do well with it because they got a raw talent for it. And then, I think everyone's got a raw talent for something, whether it be carpentry, liking computer stuff, liking writing, liking drawing, liking gardening. I think everyone has a knack for something. And it's just really up to how much you really want that to be a part of your life. And with the proper training and the proper dedication, you can become just about anything. Obviously, with limits for certain things, but in an overall sense, the amount of dedication that you can put into something usually will equal out what you get back in return. But on this, before I get into what I want to talk about on this stream, I want to thank everyone for stopping by again, subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. I hope that we can continue to grow this channel. We have great viewers, we have a great staff, and I'm hoping that in time we can show everyone else how awesome this channel is. So thank you again, everyone, for subscribing. Thank you, everyone, for watching. It means the world to me and for us that you may not see. So I just want to, again, thank you all for that. But thinking that today was April Fool's Day, you know what I mean? Like, we have all done little, I'm assuming, at least here in America, I don't know if April Fool's Day is a big thing in, like, Europe or Asia or Australia and stuff like that. But I know at least here in America, April Fool's Day has always been something that Uh, People have done at least one little trick to somebody on April Fool's Day, whether you were a kid trying to pull a prank on your parents or parents pulling pranks on the kids, uh, girlfriends and boyfriends and husbands and wives and partners usually try to pull a little prank once in a while on somebody, like I said, at least once in their life. And that got me into thinking what comic book characters, because um, I've strayed a little bit with the comic book centric subjects as of late, because I got into the WandaVision and I'm getting into the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I got into some of the retro blasts I was doing. And I got so excited about presenting you with things I like and love that the initial thing that brought me here to YouTube was the initial love of comics that I got that led me into the love of everything else I got, because comics really got me into the love of movies, TV shows. When I really started doing reading comics and paying attention to comics when I was around 12 or 13, which was around the 1988, 1989 year. Um, that's when I kind of started paying attention to things that were done in movies a lot more, things that were um, like I didn't know at that in that 13-year-old mind, like, oh, I like the structure of this movie. I just know that, oh, wow, that was an awesome movie. And later on, I was able to dissect why I thought that was an awesome movie overall. Um, some of the big movies around that time, as I got older into my teenagers into the 90s, some of the big movies back then were Batman, that I really loved. That really started getting me into loving movies. The Prince soundtrack to that I thought was good. There was some good tunes on that soundtrack. For he did all the songs, and they did. You were able to hear some of the songs in the background of that Batman movie that was made in the late '80s with Michael Keaton. um, which brings me into one of the people I think would be you can have an April Fool's Day story around his Joker, and I think the Joker is definitely someone who first came on the scene playing pranks, uh, doing poisoning the water supply and creating toxic fish, creating pranks to commit crimes. So I think he was definitely one of the first characters to portray a mischievous, uh, yes, homicidal, but mischievous personality. Loki was another one that was created back in those times, the 60s. I think when Loki was created, he was also a mischievous character, but he wasn't necessarily trying to kill people. He was just trying to kill Thor, and because of the jealousy that he had with Thor, and he would create mischievous things to make Thor look bad in front of Odin and in front of the fellow Asgardians. And then sometimes that wouldn't work out to his favor, so he would try more of a physical approach than with Thor in those type of scenarios. Deadpool, I think, is another April Fool's Day character that you can build a story around. Spider-Man, so you can maybe do a story of Deadpool and Spider-Man where Deadpool pranks Spider-Man somehow and makes Spider-Man like want to kick his ass. And so you have this little Deadpool Spider-Man fight under the guise of this prank, and then Wade reveals that it's a prank. So I think that would be a funny story to do. Um, Also got me into thinking some of the prank movies that have been out over the years. For instance, Borat, his two movies. I did see the original one back in I think 2004. I didn't see the second one, Borat, and the subsequent movie project or whatever it's called. But those were um, prank movies where the main characters were fake, and the people filming knew it was fake, but the reactions to those characters were true. From what I hear, there's a risky. Well, when it comes to Borat, there's always like risky scenes in the Borat movies, but in the second one, from what I was hearing, there's this risky scene where Borat has a daughter, and I guess the daughter is middle teenage years. They make it clear like she's underage, and throughout the movie, and somehow, some way, Borat and the fake daughter got a meeting with the real Rudy Giuliani, and Rudy Giuliani and the fake daughter were in a hotel room in this scene, and it was almost like something was about to happen, and so Borat had to come in and disrupt the scene, and then they kind of left. But I'm kind of interested in seeing what that full thing was, because um, I don't know. In the later years of Rudy Giuliani's life, he seems to be kind of not the person that he was known for years ago. Put it that way. The Jackass movies was another group of movies, and I'm gonna put Bad Grandpa in there, and I'm gonna put why do I feel like there's another Johnny Knoxville centric character that's kind of like on the lines of Bad Grandpa? I'm gonna include those movies in with the Jackass movies, because without Jackass, those other movies wouldn't have existed. The Jackass movies were basically started off as skater videos, and the videos got big because of the skill, and then sometimes the wipeouts of the videos, and then it evolved into, between everyone meeting, it evolved into basically a bunch of frat boys hanging out, uh, young guys full of testosterone hanging out, daring each other to do things as they were partying their brains out, put it that way. And it led to um, a few spin-off series too. Bam Margera, which was my favorite. The Wild Boys with Chris Pontius and Steve-O. Even now, Steve-O is still kind of around in the public light. So is Johnny Knoxville. Bam Margera is looking a little beat up these days, which is a shame, because you know sometimes sometimes time flies before you know it. So yeah, those movies were pretty fun. For me, getting older, they have worn out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I still occasionally put on a Jackass scene that I like. I like the terrorist one that they ended the first one with, where they tricked the guy into gluing a bunch of pubes on his face, and acting like a terrorist, and they reverse pranked him to make him think that the cab driver was going to kill him. Uh, so yeah, that was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty funny. Uh, Nowadays, there's a lot of prank YouTubers. Um, some of them are good. I like some of the prank ones that they do on YouTube. I like. I'm not looking. I don't like the pranks where, because I kind of did this to someone. I pranked someone where I made them think that they accidentally killed me, and I felt so bad about it for I still feel bad about it all these years later. I realized how horrible of a prank that was. Thankfully, the person is still friends with me, uh, but not without a lot of apologizing and stuff. And I realized, yeah, that's not kind of cool to do to someone, like using death as a prank. So I kind of understood, uh, and try to stay away from doing those type of pranks to people. But I certainly do enjoy the classics like the whipped cream or shaving cream in the hand, and you tickle the nose with the feather so they can kind of cream their face. Um, the electrical handshake, the joy buzzer thing. I kind of like the classics still with those. But yeah, when I did that, I felt bad, so I tried to. I still watch them on YouTube, though. I still watch them on YouTube. Um, let's see, what else is coming up on Tully Television. Been thinking about doing a series of videos based on the Joker, kind of like a retrospective on the character a little bit. I want to do like an initial introduction video on him, and then I want to do, excuse me, then I want to do a list of, I'm sorry, indigestion there for a moment. I want to do a list of the best live action Jokers. I want to do a list of the best animated Jokers, game Jokers, like through the Arkham Knight, the Arkham games. Because I think there might have been two voice actors for that series for the Joker, and I think that the Joker had other voice actors too. I want to get into um, why I enjoy the Joker. I want to get into why I think so many other people enjoy the Joker. Um, I like this little debate sometimes on if Joker and Harley Quinn were a couple to obtain to be, or a couple that you should look to not be like because of the subsequent mental and emotional and physical abuse that he put Harley Quinn through, and she stayed with him for so long until there was some sort of break where she kind of realized she wants to be uh, free and stuff. She wants to be free from the law, but she doesn't necessarily want to kill people. Joker didn't care about who was in the way. Harley Quinn, throughout the years, started caring a little bit more about her actions. So she's been kind of on the rebound from that, which is, I like the Harley Quinn character. She started off in the animated series, but I think that it's a decent character. I think Margaret Robbie uh, portrays the character well, well enough. I think she's the best one to do it at the time of this recording. But I would have really loved to see Brittany Murphy, Harley Quinn. I mean, I don't. I know I'm not the only one that's ever thought about Brittany Murphy as Harley Quinn. Telling Jordan, I'm sure I've told Jordan this a couple times over the last couple of years. I think that one actress that was in The Craft and The Water Boy, I think she would have been a good Harley Quinn. Um, but for the crop of actresses that we have available, Margaret Robbie is good. Uh, I liked her romance with the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. I can relate to that. Oh man, that was that Birds of Prey movie that she was in. I thought that was an okay movie. I thought that was entertaining. Um, the teenage girl was meant to be annoying, so I guess the actress did her job well. I always tell the missus if an actor or a writer or a director can make you feel something, even if it's not the initial emotion that he was thinking it was going to provide, or she, or them, or what have you, um, they did their job anyway. Even if it was a serious thing and you laughed at it, at least there was an emotion there that was triggered. So there was some sort of connection there. So I think that is the greatest um, thing, more than uh, maybe the initial emotion that you were supposed to feel. I was also thinking how after the Joker series of videos, because I'm thinking that's going to be like between 3 and 5 at the moment. I'm thinking at least, um, and see how that goes. I'll put it together in a playlist because if I'm doing, it's going to be at least 3. Because if I want to do an introduction and then best live action animated and game Jokers um, as separate videos, and then I'm going to do like a comics thing because like this also got me into wanting to get back into uh, remembering why Joker was such a character. My friend Jordan, who you met on the channel, had given me this. So that's going to be like one of the issues. I don't have many Joker issues at the moment, but then he also had given me this here, which is my profile picture on the YouTube here, the YouTubers. I can go through this too with the single issue because I think it relates. It's newer, the newer Joker stories that were at least the Joker War. That was the beginning of the new Joker series of stories that were in the Batman books uh, recently, the last year or so. So we'll go through some of that too. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about 5. I'm thinking about maybe it's going to be even 5 or 6 videos on the Joker alone. I still have Falcon and the Winter Soldier 2 episode getting. What a word. Good question. Good question. It's a sausage party, you know what I mean? You're a who agita. I love you. Uh, as a bro. Um, yeah, so I think I'm gonna probably do that after, like I said, 6, maybe like yeah, about 6, 7 episodes of that, and then I might even do. Oh yes, yes, I know. I know it's a painful thing. I shaved my balls for this. This is what I shaved my balls for. Come on. Star Wars would probably be the next video series I do. And I also came across something in where I live. I live in New York. I don't want to say specifically, obviously, where I live at the moment. But Brendan Fraser is filming a movie in the area I live in. And it's so funny because I recently seen him and John Travolta in a movie together, and the missus and I didn't get to finish watching it. But John Travolta plays this like Louisiana private eye type of guy who was some former football star, and he left, and now he's back in town, and Morgan Freeman runs the town, it looks like. And Brendan Fraser is some shifty doctor. He's got a little comb over and stuff. It's weird because Brendan Fraser used to be such a hot act back in the day. I had high hopes for that man. That Mummy, first two Mummy movies, and Encino Man, I thought that was pretty great movies that he did. But yeah, as of late, when you're in a John Travolta current movie, it may be bad news. Maybe bad news because you can tell John is wearing a wig, and that Louisiana accent. I don't know, man. It uh, it works, but you can tell he's not a native New Orleans speaker. But yeah, it's an interesting movie. I forget the name. Poison Rose or Poison Road. I think that's what it is. One of those. Um, yeah, those John Travolta too, man. He's always had a hit and miss career too. I feel bad for him with certain things because um, even though I don't understand the what is it, the Scientology stuff, which I don't need to understand it in order for someone else to have to be happy with it, I guess. But or with anything, I don't have to be happy with it or agree with it. Uh, but the son passing away a while ago now. That was a while ago now. He died in like a hotel room or something like that due to something. And then I know he went through something else, but I don't want to misspeak on it because then I look like a dum dum for cum cum, and I don't want to make myself look any stupider than I already am. Oh. Um, tomorrow I'm going to be watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 3 with the son. Um, I think we're going to do Godzilla versus Kong too for HBO Max. That did pretty well internationally, 122 million or something like that, and did pretty well over here, $7 million because it opened up in theaters. Did better than Wonder Woman internationally. But I don't know how many theaters Wonder Woman was open compared to Godzilla versus Kong, so that's an unfair comparison to a degree. She only made $49 million internationally, that Wonder Woman 84. But again, I'm not sure of the comparison of how many theaters they had compared to how many theaters Kong versus Godzilla had, or Godzilla versus Kong. I've heard good things about it. I hear that they really concentrate on what the movie is. I've heard it's the perfect like popcorn movie. You go and it's that mindless movie. We all know those type of movies have some sort of flaw in it, usually with the acting or writing or both. But as long as the action looks dope as hell, most times. I mean, goddamn, Transformers lasted how many fucking movies? And at some point, I was even like, all right, enough, because some of those scenes were just so like, who is fighting who? I can't tell who's fighting who now. And it lost some of its appeal for me, those big budget movies. So I stayed away from them for a little bit, but this Godzilla versus Kong looks really good. I think I'm going to enjoy, like I said, just vegging out at the house with the family and eating snacks and drinking pop and shit like that, and just enjoying a classic movie because, you know. See, the thing about Transformers is that they're more than meets the eyes. Oh my god, that reminds me of the Clerks 2. Clerks 2, where they have the Lord of the Rings um, and Star Wars debate. But early in the movie, they were talking about GoBots and Transformers. And I was a fan of both GoBots and Transformers, but obviously the steak and sizzle was the Transformers. You know what I mean? Like, I think they had more like intricate parts where you can transform, and I'm not sure, but I think Transformers was the only one out of the two where you can actually transform and put the Transformers together. I don't know if GoBots gave you the option of that down the road because you had like the dinosaur bots. I think that can make into something, and the construction robots. They were able to make a bigger robot somehow. Um, but I think they started getting that probably from some of the Japanese cartoons at the time because there was a lot of that going on, and the anime and manga stories. I'm sure at the time where there was you got Voltron, you got space. Um, that space they did where that's obviously they're in space, Bart. Uh, the cars, the vehicles. When Voltron was vehicles at one point, I think there was something else. The only cartoon that I felt like I can't remember the other one if there was a third Voltron or not. But the only one of the cartoons that I was surprised that they didn't have that gimmick was the Thundercats. I'm surprised that they didn't have the Thundercats have some sort of specialized vehicles. Yes, lines than the cars. You're right. It was the lines, and then they did the cars. I remember being a little bit older when the cars came out. You're right. Maybe I'm just imagining there was a third Voltron somewhere around, and I'm just thinking of some bootleg Voltron. That's probably what it is. Yeah, I definitely remember the lines. I definitely remember the cars, the like space race cars or whatever, however you want to describe them. Yeah, maybe I'm just thinking of some other toy that built together, and I'm just mixing my stuff up. But yeah, the Thundercats, man, I'm surprised that the Thundercats didn't have like specialized vehicles for each of them or close to it because Tara, I guess, would have needed something because she would have been faster than whatever transportation that you were giving her. Um, but like Wiley, Kit, and Cat, I'm surprised they at least they didn't have like two things like that would combine together, uh, or the rest of the team. I don't know. I was kind of surprised that they didn't do that. That's the one thing I guess I would have wished um, for the Thundercats because you had it with the Silverhawks. I think you had the Silverhawks that would have their stuff transform and create a bigger stuff. But I guess you didn't really uh, have too much of those shows around because Panther had the car. You're right about that, and the Twins had I want to say like the spaceports. I think they had the spaceports, and then Panthro would hop in the tank with the line with Lionel. And like I said, Chitara, I guess she wouldn't need a vehicle because anything you give her would just slow her down anyway. It wouldn't be like you give her a car that's faster than her. I don't think they would even have um, that type of way of doing that yet. Even to be honest with you, even though they did have the vehicle and the castle, the fortress. Um, yeah, I'm really also interested in wanting to see Thundercats on the big screen too, so to speak. I'm hoping that looks good when that finally does come out, because that's so easy to make stupid looking. And I I'm not saying they should make Thundercats rated R. Uh, that would be a far fetched, but if Thundercats a PG-13 type of movie, where you can add a little bit more of a color, so to speak, in your action scenes. Uh, have an occasional tooth spit out. You know what I mean during the fights. Uh, that would be pretty awesome. Because sometimes when you try to make these things for a younger audience, it usually doesn't turn out so well. Like there's this Thundercats cartoon that came out, Thundercats Roar or something like that, and it just Thundercats Roar or something like that, and it just the animation style made me just not want to watch it at all, and that's so sad for me to be a kid that owned these toys, and I just was like, you know what, no. As the kids call it, it's a Flanderization of what the Thundercats were, and it's a shame because there's so much there that you can work with. You have Lionel, who is basically a child in a man's body. You have these the elders that are trying to help him. I would like to see in a movie him being more closer to Wily Kit and Cat, being they were the younger ones. You know, I think Thundercats Raw was a different kind of movie. I'm gonna have to look that up. Meow. I feel bad for Chitara because it's like, oh, geez, Louise, she's in for a long amount of time. And then when the other batch of Thundercat survivors came from, what was that, the second or third season of the animated show? I forget the name now, but there was another female character that came with like a snow cat version of Tigra, some other guy, and some lady. And so maybe she was able to pick up some of the attention. But I always wondered about that in cartoons. Even as a kid, like, man, she's like the only girl. I used to think that Smurfette too. Like, holy moly, Smurfette's got a lot of people to tell no to be boyfriends. I don't know why that always came in my mind as a kid, but I was like, how is she like the only girl? Where are they coming from? But yeah, whatever the case may be, I'm babbling at this point. Um, yeah. So this was trying to think of anything else for April Fool's Day that I can talk of that I haven't talked of with the characters or movies that I personally seen that prank related movies. Went over some of the stuff that we're going to be going up against with my ideas against the next few weeks with time bearing. Again, I want to thank everyone for stopping by. Chris, you always are who you are. Um, you genuinely make me laugh, man. You always have. I can't believe how long it's been now. Jeez, Mount St. Mary was so long ago. Jesus, old men we are. Old man country. Yeah, again, thank you so much to Tim. Thank you, Chrissy, for stopping by. I always appreciate you being there for me and supporting me in everything I do. I want to thank all my subscribers for watching and commenting and uh, Just know that you bring as much joy into my life as I'm hoping I'm bringing into your life, even if it's for a few minutes a day. Uh, we all going through it, guys. We all have uh, shit we're going through, man, and no one knows it. No one knows those secret things that we go through. And if I can bring a genuine smile to your face uh, with something I said or did, even if I didn't realize I said or did it, I'm happy that I'm able to do it. Uh, let's keep growing the channel, guys. Let's share. Let's like. Hit the bell notification. Give me ideas of what you guys want me to talk about. I'm thinking about making this Thursday night stream regular, so I can keep it like with the alliteration. Tully talks. No. Oh, Tully talks. I fucked up. Tully Television Thursdays. So let's. I like that Tully Television Thursdays. So I'm really thinking that in between the videos that Tim helps me out with, I'll come here and do this live stream every Thursday for Tully Television. And yeah, again, guys, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. And until next time, peace, Snookums.